Will it live or will it be a Memorex? Hey everybody, what's up? Things are looking a little bit better today. It's just one of those days. Between talking with my one EMT friend and that, I think we figured out what the doctors can't, and I think I can add another pill to my allergic reaction list. I haven't taken it for 3 days, and I'm feeling like a human being again. Things are feeling better, looking better, but the only thing is I got red spots showing up on my stomach and on my thighs. Well, you think that might be a side effect of the medication I was on. But anyway, who cares about that shit? Anyway, well, I just got off the phone with somebody, another fellow YouTuber, because my brain don't work. I keep wanting to, and I've asked people around here, this is a 10.5 horse Tecumseh. It's an industrial commercial. And there's the info on it if you guys want to see it. Everything, I've still got everything for this motor. This motor and I fought over the years. Guy who owned it, I'd get it fixed. I think I replaced the coil on it and something else. But the latest issue was, and this poor little motor, he run it hard. Now who the hell is this? He run it hard, and I got somebody here. Give me a minute. Okay, it ain't going to show up, but I don't know why his truck looked different. It was my neighbor. I'm like, who the hell is that? That's not. Well, and also his grill's busted out. Let's see if I can get that. Don't bust your grill on those Fords. See that hole right there? He goes, guess how much that grill costs? I'm like, oh, I don't know, 300 bucks. He goes, ha ha ha. That plastic grill for that Ford pickup, 560 bucks I think he said it's going to cost him. Jesus. Anyway, I think I was talking to a friend, another YouTuber, about getting parts. Yeah, I showed that. Oh, that's what it was. This poor little motor was on that pole behind mower I got, and the guy, he tried mowing some pretty good stuff with it. It'd get hot. So I'm pretty sure the rings are gone. That's why, because last time we tried starting it, it didn't have much compression, and he said it was using more oil, and yeah. So I'm hopefully can get the rings and gaskets, and we're going to tear this little guy down and rebuild him, because like I said, if I can get it to run and run right, it's going to go either on a project, dump box trailer I hope, or whatever else, I don't know, or get her fixed up and sell it, as it does have the throttle. So I mean, we'll take her apart, get her rebuilt and cleaned and put back together. And so I got that guy checking on the parts for that. Really? Huh. And I'm out here at the farm. Time's just flying by, and come on camera, focus. Just a second. There! Now I ain't fuzzy looking. Well, I'm still fuzzy looking, but I'm not fuzzy looking. Okay. So I'm just trying to think something to do around here, and yeah. I've got an idea, just if I got enough stuff out here to do it with. Oh, I don't know what it is. Maybe I might talk kind of a little bit about motor stuff. And I'm gonna, okay, let's see what we got here. Alright. Got a pair of rods here. One's a 400 small block rod, and the other one's a 350 rod. And if anybody's like me and wonder what the difference between a 400 and small block rod are, because they use the same bearings, is this. And when I've got done to this, no, normally you cannot put a wrist pin in a press fit. When I was getting starting to use different kind of pistons with different rods, I was using the 400 rods and the 350 rods. Had the father-in-law loosen this up so I could do this, so I could mock up motors to see how things were going to clear. So we take that one, this one, and put them together. Okay. On the small end, you can see one right here is short, or this one is shorter than that one. Otherwise, they are the same diameters and everything. What this is for is balancing the rods. Okay. Now, you look right up here in this area, if it shows up, this rod here, this front one, is shorter than this one. That is your difference right there. Get them both. Right there is your difference in length. And what I'm going to do here is what they call a beam polish. And I'm going to practice on these because it's been a while since I've done that. And I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to take this rod right now, right in front of you, and well, this will work. I'm going to take that. Now listen. Okay, and so you guys know this is going to be the same rod. I'm going to take this marker, this red marker, and we're going to put a red mark there and a red mark in there. So that is this rod, and it's got a number 52, and it was a number 1 rod. I got enough stuff out here. I'm going to show you something that I can do with this, and all I'm going to do is polish this area right here and right here. Now, be warned, you go polishing your rods and beam polishing them, you gotta know what you're doing. And once you beam polish them, you have to have your rod sets rebalanced to one another. If you do not do that, it will not end nicely. So, you all heard that, and I'll even use the same cap. Dead sound, right? Alright. Well, I'm going to go to work here and see if I got something out here to start this process with, and we'll get her done. Okay, there's just the first step. I'm trying a little different than what I used to. I'm trying to remember how I used to do this. And I gotta get the rod bolts out. Yep. And every time you knock out your rod bolts, you should have your rods resized, because that knurling there, it'll change the metal right there a little bit. But there's the rough look. Now what I need to do, I got to sand all one direction here. You cannot sand crossways. You can't go up to an edge sander and go zzz like this. You got to have a sander or a handheld sander device that you go with the rod. All your greens got to go with the rod. If you go crossways with your sandpaper, that rod will snap. And you really don't want to thin down the sidewalls here. What I took off is right here. I took out the seam off the forging. See? I just knocked that off. That's what I'm working on. And I got to stay away from these bosses right here, because that's where you grind on to get your weights right. I got to get me a scale if I'm going to start doing this. But yeah, I got to bring out one of my, I'm thinking my belt sander, stand it on in and clamp it and set there, or otherwise I think I had some sanding drums that went in the die grinder. But anyway, it don't ring yet, but it's amazing. After you sand, and then you got to watch this area right here. You do not want to remove any of that, because if you do, chances are your rod bolt could turn. And you don't want to do this step with your rod bolts in, because see, I've already nicked it, and that'll weaken your rod bolts too. So you got to be real careful there. And you're not out to narrow up these sides any. You're just out to smooth this out. And then sand, like I said, with this way, back and forth. And don't take that sander and go crisscross either. You got to keep it straight, back and forth, until it's smooth. And when I get done doing that, you guys should be surprised what that does to this rod. So, but unfortunately, I don't have a sander out here, and I don't have a lot of gas, so I'll try and grab a sander when I'm out running around tonight and sand the belts and bring that out and see if... I think I moved all those little drum sanders I had, and I think that's what I used to use. And moved that stuff all the time because, you know, at the time I wasn't going to be doing motor work like this. So if I get this to work like I'm hoping, the 354 bolt main rods, I'm going to beam polish them. And if I can get my scale and the rod jig, and I'll balance my rods myself. And show you guys how to do that. And I think I'm going to start prepping that 354 bolt main. I know you do a lot of work to them before you take them into the get them hot tank, but you just will do it while the motor's dirty, because when you take it in and get a hot tank, then you don't have to pay for another hot tanking. And if it ends up being broke, you just got practice time in, and you're that much more advanced for the next motor you do that to. So that motor over there, I'm gonna, hopefully the heads are good, and we'll play around with that motor. So I guess I can't finish that project I was kind of planning on today. And guy calls me back on the Tecumseh, or gets a hold of me tonight, whatever. Well, by the time you see this, might have gotten a hold of me by then. If parts are available, we'll find out where you can get them through, and come up with the money and get the parts for that, and we'll tear that little motor down and rebuild it and see if we can get her running again. Have a good little spare motor sitting around. At least if it's running, then I want to be tempted to keep throwing it in the iron pile. But if there are no parts for it, I guess that's where it's going. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess Tecumsehs are no longer made. So, but that was a hell of a running little 10.5 horse. But some of you are probably thinking, why don't you clean up? Well, that's my problem. I'm looking around. I'm just, I don't know where to go with anything. My wall space is already covered, because I'm thinking, boy, if I had a nice shelf, and I'm thinking, where are you going to put a shelf in here? Because I thought, build a nice metal shelf that would hold metal parts, these engine parts. I could put it up, and then like this motor here, I could stack that stuff up, and say this shelving straight down is a 350. This one's the V6, and store stuff. But well, as you can see, my walls are pretty much spoken for. So I'm like, oh, dang. Wish I would have built this building 4 foot taller. But and about 100 foot longer. I don't know. I know I could tear the V6 heads apart, see how bad the guides are in those. See if I'm going to have to. I mean, I guess if I had them apart, took them in, had them clean and crack checked. I got one more valve board. I could keep the valves in order and mark the heads, and then if anything, lap the valves and put them back in. Okay, I'm getting off subject. But anyway, and oh yeah, I'm going to address a little something. And you know, I hate to say it, but the last few days, I think it's been a medication issue with me, plus life just... If you guys knew everything that took place off camera, you might understand me a little more, but I figure what the hell, everybody don't need to know everything. But And I gotta remember to put a face shield on. Eyeglasses work, but and I guess think out your comments in that, and kind of maybe reread them twice or something just before you comment. And, you know, and I hope that nobody ends up with hard feelings. And, you know, this is simple, genuine concern was asked about the dogs out here at the farm, and I responded, and I think something just got taken out of context. And then if the other persons are just like me, you know, we all got issues and that, and sometimes things just, you don't mean no harm and they don't mean no harm, but it comes across. And kind of thinking about one of my responses to one of the guys last night, and I'm like, well, I guess I just kind of used that time to answer a few things, and I guess this is a personal thing of mine, my thoughts, my thinking. If we don't start recycling more of what we've got instead of sending good, usable vehicles to the crusher, you know, the Blue Book, there's sometimes you got to look at the Kelly Blue Book or the Auto Traders or whatever, and you got to say, hey, you know what? I don't care what they say it's worth. And fix these things. Because if we don't keep fixing these things, that means they're not going to keep making parts for us. If they see that there's a demand for parts, they're going to keep making them. But the day the demand falls off for the parts, they're going to stop making them. Then it will be, okay, yeah, I can't get parts. Okay, fine, it's gone. But this little Sonoma is being built for my youngest daughter to drive. It's hers. She wants it. Her sister ended up with a fairly nice car. No rust in it, and Dad fixed that up nice. So I'm going to do that again, but this daughter's helping more than the oldest did. I think she will have a better understanding of the vehicle's worth. I'm not looking to sell this, and then, you know, if I spend $5,000 on that truck, and I keep doing it with money I can make here and there, I still own this thing outright. People have got to get away from living through the banks. If you ain't got the money, don't buy it. Because banks, as I'm finding out with ours, and I had a conversation with somebody else, these banks, you know, when we owed them more, they were getting along with us great. Now I'm getting close to the end of having it paid off. It's like the bank's freaking out, like, because, you know, the bank has told me that we were never going to make it. Well, we're getting close to the end where we're going to make it. And now it's like the bank is starting to give us issues about getting to the end. And this person I talked to, he says, yeah, it's like they realize, oh shit, they're going to make it after all. What can we do to stop it? And I'm like, boy, and coming from the person I talked to, that really surprised me. But, you know, there's so many cars made every day already that are getting mass produced, set somewhere in a parking lot, and never get used. And then these manufacturers wondered why they went belly up. Well, we're making cars faster than we can use them. You know, if a new truck would still cost $18,000, I think they'd sell a hell of a lot more of them than they will at $60,000. Because if you're a family of two, you start out as a family of two, that means at least two vehicles. If you don't have no vehicles and you don't want no used ones, you go buy a $60,000 truck for the guy and a $40,000 car. That's $100,000. How many years, unless you've got a high-paying job, how many years are it's going to take you to work that off? You're never going to get it paid off. And if you don't got payments, that's money you get to keep in your pocket that you can afford to pay this higher dollar gas and go do things yet and help keep the economy stimulated instead of just putting gas in, going to work, coming home, and doing nothing. I mean, yes, it's nice to have nice shiny things, but you appreciate stuff more when you put your hard work into it and fix it and stand back and say, look what I done. I took this vehicle, it was in this shape, and look at it now. It's a nice looking truck or a nice looking car. We need to put the work ethic back in the people so they go back to doing work and having hobbies of fixing cars and making this stuff last. You know, these cars, this is a 99. It's 99, 16 years old. It would still be gone if there wasn't a bitter divorce over the truck. 16 years old, throw a little body work into it, you got another 16 years. Okay, right now for me, a vehicle to last me another 16 years, you realize how old I'm going to be? If I actually live another 16 years? Why would I want to die having $60,000 truck payments over my head left for my loved ones? So, I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but, and I'm not ranting at anybody particular, or anybody on the channel here, guys. It's just, we got to stand up as people and finally say, hey, enough is enough, slow it down, back it off. I mean, how can people sleep knowing they owe that much money? And you know, you look at these old houses that, well, ours, we know many parts of that house was built because of other houses or buildings or businesses being torn down in the day. When they built in these small towns, when they popped up, if somebody tore something down, that wood didn't get thrown on a bomb pile or buried, smashed up and put in the landfill. That, nail holes and all, was used to do an addition to your house, made your house nicer. I mean, oh, shut up. I mean, I could go on. I'm sorry. But, at the rate we're going to have so many vehicles mass produced that we're going to be able to cover the United States and the world, the land masses, all in cars, and there will be no more room. Everybody's always thinking bigger is better. You know what? Maybe we should stop manufacturing cars every day. Oh, and I can hear it now. Oh my God, those jobs. Well, it's gotten into a tailspin cycle. I mean, the jobs, yes, those people would be out of jobs, but to mass produce these vehicles like they are, there is no reason in the world that they should be costing 60, 80, 100,000, $1 million. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. It's not supposed to be a materialistic world, and but by God, that's what this world's become. It's nothing but materialistic, and how much of it can I hoard for myself? There, I said it. I mean, you know, I was kind of getting into that cycle, and I kind of got upset when the wife started telling me, no, we can't do this, no, we can't do that, we can't run here, we can't do that. You know, the first couple years of being told that, I was like, oh, it led to some heated arguments. And, but now that I've gotten older, I understand more, and you know what? You should count every day that you wake up and walk on this face of this earth as a blessing. And I guess it's supposed to be what you can do for others, not what you do for yourself. How you can help others out is what we're supposed to be really doing. So anyway, I'm going to shut up there now. I could go on and on and on, and that was not what today was going to be about, but I guess. So just be nice to one another, guys, and really think about what one says over in a comment or something. Let's not have wars and start feuding amongst ourselves, because all you viewers are nice to have, and I respect each and every one of you. And I won't say names because I think you guys pretty much know. We're just human. Things happen, things get said, and sometimes we just, without thinking, we type something that we shouldn't have, and I'm guilty of that too. I've done that a few times, but we're only human. We're not perfect. We are a long ways from being perfect. And only one perfect person ever walked this face of this earth. And maybe soon he'll be back. And that's Jesus. Alright. I'm going to stop. Okay. No, he picked it up. Watch this. Watch what he does. Oh, no, he's not going to do it. Come on, do it again. Sure, he was standing on it, flicking it with the one paw, snapping it on the floor. Come on, do it again. You know he won't do it because I'm watching him. You little stinker. He was standing on it and taking his one paw, lifting it, going snap, snap, snap. As soon as I fire up the camera, look what I get. You little stinker. Hey, you're good shit, ain't ya? You're good shit, ain't ya? Yeah. Come here. Alright. Okay, I got tired of the grit on the floor from the motor. I vacked up my only clean spot in the shop, and I finally stained it. Boy, it looks worse in camera than it does in person. But anyway, I just called that other machine shop that's got my other 97. See how bad that is, and they still got it, and they're holding on to it. I actually think I talked to the owner this time. I think he remembers me. So this cam here, I asked him, I says, hey, I told him what this is. He's going to look into getting 10 under cam bearings for me. And because I said the cam's perfect, but the journals got chewed up before. So I'll have him look that cam over. If he agrees, I might get that cam turned down, which will save over $300. Because I can reuse that and then I'll put it back in that motor. Yeah, we already talked about that one. So, and I just, since I was the big guy down there I talked to, I asked him about this. He says, look for another crank. He says, don't have it welded up, just find a different 4.3 crank. So, I guess, bye-bye crank. I ain't gonna mess with it. So that'd just save me some money. Save me gas money anyway. Then I cleaned that motor off because I want to get to that block and get that together. If I get to where I'm thinking I'm going to have an extra one of these motors sitting around for sale or for a future project. The Vortec motor here. And I have got the complete harness and wiring, everything out of that pickup. Like I said, I could figure out, make some more brackets so I could hang the wiring, harness and everything on there, and I could have this engine test stand be a dual thing. Fuel injection and carbureted. I brought my meter with. I think I'm going to have to check my numbers because I'm all of a sudden feel like I'm getting excited. But, oh, yeah, those parts, that's what I was going to go. Parts that were sitting there, I had now cleaned out that tub too. Give you a peek here. I got some of them in there soaking. Basically, I dumped the V6 parts in there. Some of the parts are coming clean, some of them aren't. And for the prices of the junkyard, I know I can go to Walmart and pick up, I can't remember the name of that stuff in the gallon can. And I've seen some guys use it, and it works pretty good. It's like the old carb cleaner, but it's not as nasty. And I used to have some of that old Napa carb cleaner. A friend of mine was helping me once, and I told him, do not put your hand in there whatsoever. What's the idiot do? Put his hand in there and wondered why 20 minutes later, why does my skin feel like rubber? I said, no. Yes. He finally fessed up, yes. So I made him get soap and water and start washing his hands and that. It took about 2 days for his hands to straighten out again. And if you're watching, you know who I'm talking about, don't you? You'll probably call me too when you see it. But, yeah. So I guess I do need to look for a crank for the 4.3. Got one found at O'Reilly's for $211 plus $25 core. Well, I don't have a core. As soon as they get that in and measure it, they'll say, nope. So I just will keep it and turn it in for 25 bucks, so that'll make it 250 bucks for the crank, I guess. And I got looking. The 350 pistons are the same design as these. Rods? No. They are different rods. Darn it! But so cool. That was the big guy. He goes, yep, it's still here. And this is also the shop that did more than what they were supposed to in the first place. But it's still a machine shop I got left that's good. And I know they're good. They're damn good. I just gotta get settled up with them. And I think I said something, but I don't remember. I found out there is 10 to 30 over pistons available for this V6. If it'll go 10, that's all I'm going to do. I don't believe in going max right off the bat. I'm going to just go 10, be done. And because since I'm going to have to put a new crank in there, I want this thing to just be perfect. And I want something that's going to start for my daughter. I mean, run and work. And so, yeah, I think I better check my numbers because I feel like I'm getting kind of wound up here. And let's see, what else? I don't know, like I said, I picked up, went through, got everything gathered for that Vortec, sitting right there. And let's see, is this my buddy? And oh, nope, it wasn't my buddy. Okay, I gotta make a call. So, alright. Okay, my numbers, not bad, 167. I had a little snack a little bit ago, but I'm like jittery going. I don't know what the hell that's about, but I set something down, then I lost it, couldn't find it, then I found it, and I'm like, oh, duh, you dumbass. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. We get the Camaro home and get that other motor. I'll get a call back and he's going to look up, see how much a master kit is through them. Might have a heart attack, but I see on the sign there's a sign saying 20 to 30% surcharge if you don't buy the parts through them. Okay. 20 to 30% added on to what you normally would spend. Ah, yeah. So, I guess give them a chance to see what they got. And, then the toast two set. I get that. God dang. What the hell's going on? I don't know. Anyway, jeez. I don't know. God dang, I don't know. Shit. Well, I guess. Oh, that was my daughter. She texted me and I called her. And forgot they got out of school early today. I just feel jittery. What? I don't know. I don't know. Too much crap on the mind. You guys should be proud of me too. I have now going on 2 to 3 weeks. I can't remember when I stopped. I was drinking a little pop here and there. Okay, my mom was giving me this excuse. Oh, you feel better when you drink it. Well, I have gone now 2 to 3 weeks completely without any pop again whatsoever. And I think I noticed because my body's starting to notice it again, because when I'm eating, I'm not eating near as much, and I wish they would make good stuff available for us more than this bad crap that kill us and keep us fat and all that. But anyway, I guess I don't know much else. This video's probably getting long, and I'm just trying to organize stuff, trying to figure out where I'm going to take stuff, what I'm going to do with stuff, and yeah. So I guess we'll talk at you later, and thanks for watching, and I guess everybody just get along and think twice about what we type, but sometimes we got to say what we got to say. But anyway, y'all take care. Thanks for watching, and God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for watching.